Meet Jane. Like all of us, Jane is an avid social media user. Each morning, she wakes up to check her socials. And like all of us, throughout the day, Jane is providing internet servers and businesses with information about herself and her buying patterns. This is what we call big data. While big data has been able to yield huge benefits in a number of fields, with most elements of mass data collection, the downside is creating a world of big data with little privacy. Some of this data might come from Jane's fertility app that she uses to track her periods. Apps like these have held in a new era of liberation for women. However, these apps come with a price. Fertility tracking apps often prompt women to reveal sensitive information on an increasingly public sphere. Women like Jane may be fundamentally unaware of how their sensitive information is being used, which brings into question whether the click-wrap agreements we consent to go far enough to fully inform us of third-party access. At the core of both these issues is the uncomfortable truth surrounding the exploitation of the female experience and commodification of fertility data. Software and data collection are highly gendered in their construction. On the one hand, fertility apps can be argued to further the feminist agenda by granting women increased autonomy and self-control over their bodies. One of the many purposes of self-tracking apps is the promotion of self-improvement and control, which is argued to align with the feminist mentality, says Dr. Fotopoulou. Furthermore, such apps inevitably work to destigmatize certain topics like menstruation and provides a space for women to seek out information and advice, effectively reducing the taboo and humiliation tied to natural bodily functions. On the other hand, fertility apps can be seen as discriminatory, as they are often unable to cater to the diverse landscape of women and their needs. This can be seen in the available settings for recording user sexual activity in the app period calendar, and gendered advice linked with the user's assumed cisgender male partner in the apps Glow and Eve. What about the users who are unpartnered or in same-sex relationships, or those who do not subscribe to heteronormative stereotypes of reproduction? Not only are these women ignored, but trying to take legal action against this exclusion could easily be dismissed as excessively over-catering to minority group users. The conformity to outdated and inaccurate gender roles, stereotypes and behaviour work to further widen the imbalance of gender power relations. Furthermore, this opportunity to increase agency is presented within apps inherently designed for profit. The increased use of fertility tracking apps by a valued female demographic raises critical questions surrounding power, labour and exploitation. Statistician Andrejevic revealed that marketers pay far more for pregnant women's browsing data compared to other internet users because of the potential to create lifelong customers. Even women who aren't pregnant yet can be subject to similar exploitation. For example, the app Baby Center, owned by the company Johnson & Johnson, aggressively advertises products aimed for infants at the precise point of an individual's predicted time of conceiving. As a result, information about our human bodies and behaviour is being circulated, reappropriated and commercialised for advertising, research and managerial uses by a range of different actors and agencies. These purposes are vividly contrary to the promoted purpose of granting women a greater sense of autonomy. From collating information regarding a woman's menstrual cycle to their sex drive and activity, the data discussed so far falls squarely within information that tracks equities protection, as it is intimately connected with oneself and agency. The individual value of such information should give women greater cause to be vigilant regarding how fertility app data is being used. However, powerful transnational corporations like Facebook, Google, Amazon and analytical companies can access and profit off fertility information through technically consented to connection tracking. As the Electronic Frontier Foundation found, this includes indirect use through lines of codes and usernames and direct use through data sharing. As an e-commerce Times article claimed, violations of privacy in the selling and sharing of data surrounds the issue of consent. Consumers are either completely unaware that such violations of privacy are occurring, or may be aware but lack understanding of who, what, how their data will be handled, or whether it can be removed. Distinct from the issue of consent is the overarching question of ethics in data mining and targeted ads. Deriving value from data and privacy protection play a consistent game of tug of war. Can the two coexist? If so, what are the real risks? On the one side, targeted ads are a consumer benefit by weeding out products that are not relevant to buyers and leaving tailor-made product suggestions. Is it simply antiquated and technophobic to ignore the convenient benefits of buying at your fingertips in exchange for standard monitoring? Or contrarily, do surreptitious business practices mean we are just paying for our own surveillance? Is this different from being followed in a shop by an employee with a clipboard writing down what you looked at? The unquestionably strong ethical issues tied to the trade-off of privacy for data mining and targeted ads becomes even more damning in the case of fertility apps, where women's intimate health information is being exploited. Targeted ads, especially in the business of women's health, may be unethical or at the very least highly invasive, and this is assuming that individuals provided fully informed consent.
Created using Powtoon.